Well, hi there. Hope everybody had a happy Father's Day. I know I did. I had a happy Father's Day weekend, actually. I had our son, daughter in law, and granddaughter uh, on the way come out Saturday, and our daughter, son in law, and grandkids, Sadie and Oliver, come out today, and it was glorious. It was really wonderful. It's all the reason you need for fighting this hard to get well and get well quickly. But I got an email, hence the different hat, from a friend who was chiding me about always wearing a hat, and a watch cap in particular. At least that's the impression I got from it. And I'm sure it was good-hearted, but uh, I am a little sensitive about wearing the hat. Not because I'm vain. I know what I look like, so I'm okay with that. Um, it's just that it's a constant reminder that I'm still long from um, a complete recovery, and that my hemoglobin's still low, and that as a result I get cold very easily. And once I get cold, it's really impossible to warm up. So I actually sleep with those watch caps on to help retain body heat, because I'm not sure if most of you are aware of this, you lose most of your body heat through your head, and when you're bald, it's that much more quickly. So I thought I'd change up the hats just for fun as a result of that. But that's not really what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is some observations I made during the day yesterday and during the day today, while uh, our son's daughter, was in the pool, and before she got into the pool, and our grandson and granddaughter were at the park, and it was really interesting. I've often said that if I had it to do all over again, knowing what I know now, especially about uh, the wonder of watching little ones um, grow from infancy, into actual people, um, I probably would have gone into childhood developmental psychology, because it fascinates me. I don't think I've ever been that fascinated by anything else except possibly for internal combustion engines and how they work. Um, what makes cars go down the road, and what keeps them straight, and what stops them. But it's fascinating to watch these little human beings develop and grow and take on their personalities, and especially um, how they go from being, in many cases, fearless, uh, to becoming fearful, or fearing less, depending on experience. So we watched Audra think about getting in the pool, and making sure that she had her floaties on, making sure that everything was perfect, and then tentatively putting one foot in the water to make sure that was going to be all right. And she was in and out of the pool multiple times, so I got to see sort of how her mind was functioning towards that end in the course of those multiple exits and entries into the pool. The same thing occurred in the park, watching um, first, well, watching Sadie first, our 5-year-old granddaughter, who's got to be part monkey. I mean, she was on this incredible apparatus that they built at I think it was in Canto Park, that we were in Monrovia, and watch her scurry up the ladders or scurry up the climbing wall to get to the very top structure where there was a long spiral, um, almost vertical slide. And to watch her control her speed coming down, stopping along the way to wave, let us make sure that we were watching, and then watch Oliver, who's 3, gut his way up to the same level as Sadie, and decide once he got there with his legs hanging on the down the slide that he didn't want any part of it at that point. And with a lot of encouragement, we actually got him to come down the slide. And it was really tentative at first. I mean, it was really, really tentative at first. It was holding on to the sides, making sure he had controlled the speed. And the next thing we knew, he was scampering up that jungle gym apparatus like it was built for him, and that he was born, and like he was born on it, and coming down the slide with reckless abandon. He was absolutely without fear. We watched Sadie on the bars, a what could be considered a high bar that was in between a jungle gym like apparatus and the rest of the unit. And Sadie's a little bit of a thing, and she jumped up. It felt like the distance equal to her height in order to go ahead and get her fingertips on the bar, then get a proper gymnast grip on the bar, and then shoot her legs through it. But in a way, it was also tentative. And we watched her as she became more comfortable and more familiar with the apparatus, and started having more and more fun on different parts of it. Not the least of which was the rock climbing surface to get you, to bypass the ladders and steps to get you up to the very top level. And you start to wonder, watching her, more tentative than the little guy. I mean, he was very, very tentative, reluctant in the beginning, and then it was like, oh yeah, I survived getting to the bottom, so I got to be okay, and I'll be okay every time I try this. And Sadie was a little bit more intent on making sure she was in control throughout all of this. And you got to wonder how much of our behavior as adults is baked in those first few years of childhood development. How much of it is the result of constantly being reminded that we could cripple ourselves, or that we could hurt ourselves, or that we will hurt ourselves, or arguments about, see, I told you you would hurt yourself. And I'm not sure that that's the healthiest thing possible. I think that you need more confidence than condemnation when it comes to being adventurous. And if that's the way you were raised, then it leaves you with an additional task of figuring out how you're going to get through that, how you're going to get past that, and accomplish whatever it is you need to accomplish without allowing fear, an acronym possibly for false evidence appearing real, set you back or hold you back or keep you from achieving your goals and objectives. something to think about if you're raising kids, something to think about if you're watching your kids raise kids, something to think about if you get that awful feeling in the pit of your stomach every time you're about to leave your comfort zone and move out into something that some obstacle that's, you know, that you find is between yourself and the success you seek. Certainly something worth thinking about in general. Um, I know it's made a difference in my life, confronting this disease and the treatment that I'm going through. Um, but I'm not sure I can articulate that yet. Although if I find a way to articulate it properly, then I'm comfortable with it. You're going to hear about it. So in the meantime, stay well and take care. Clinic tomorrow. Excited to find out what changes, if any, have occurred. So see you then. Bye bye.